And when he returns to the colony, Mirok will be a changed man. He will cooperate and he will obey orders. He'll be just like the rest of us.
Why do you want everyone to be the same?
Ian Stewart Black worked with Patrick McGoohan on Danger Man, and it's been hinted that McGoohan discussed some of the ideas he was working on for his soon-to-be-released series, The Prisoner. So it's no surprise that attacking the idea of a place that's full of happy but nevertheless drone-like people might show up in some of his work. Like number 6, the Doctor is resistant to enforced conformity and unquestioned obedience. Draw a line in the sand and tell him not to cross it, and Troughton's Doctor will not listen. In fact, he won't step over the line. He will trick you into turning your back, and when you turn back again, he'll be standing right next to you, the line having been erased completely, and pretending it was never there. Well, Control calls up, instructing that they be given the treatment in their sleep that night.
No one on the colony believes in Macra. There is no such thing as Macra. Macra do not exist. There are no Macra!
I can't help but thinking you're trying too hard there, Ominous Face. In a world where subtlety exists, the subliminal voice tries to brainwash them into being happy colony drones like all the rest of them. Jamie wakes up in the midst of it and tries asking Ben about it, but it seems he's already fallen under its influence. As with the Moonbase and Underwater Menace, it's clear that the plan had been for 2 companions, not 3, and so with Jamie largely being paired up with the others in the last 2 stories, they obviously decided to give him more independent stuff to be doing here. So essentially, he shares the peril scenes with Polly, but she mostly then gets assigned to work alongside one of the other 3 actors.
You will not resist the sleeping gas.
Oh no, the Doctor told me not to listen to smoke detectors. The Doctor comes by and breaks all the speakers so they stop filling their heads with Scientology or whatever, but when he tries the next one, Ben interferes. He's been listening to the voices.
Jamie, how did you sleep? Oh, very badly, Doctor.
I do miss Colin Baker telling us that Jamie was tossing restlessly. That was the one and only positive of having the episode junked. But it is clear that Ben has fully drunk the Kool-Aid and reports the Doctor's sabotage to Ola, who's finally happy to have a chance to arrest the Doctor with evidence for once. But Polly detests this new Ben and finally runs off, hiding from him in the new housing construction area, only for the 2 of them to draw the attention of a Macra. Ben denies that it's there even as he's looking at it. That is some high-quality brainwashing there. So he doesn't react when it grabs Polly. And not just a little thing either. Yeah, that is the revenge of every seafood platter you've ever had right there. Eventually he starts to realize that what he's seeing with his own eyes is actually true and fights the Macra until Polly is free. But soon they're coming at them from all directions. While they face their pinchy doom, the Doctor is getting his tongue lashing from Pilot about destroying those speakers.
Oh, leave that alone. That's better.
I don't think he's really listening. Luckily, Polly and Ben must have slipped past the Macra, because the 2 of them are brought in to report what happened. But, in the final moment, Ben can't admit that Macra exist. The programming is just too strong. Pilot is likewise in denial, but acquiesces to the Doctor's challenge to show the controller if this person even exists, since Pilot believes that there's nothing wrong with the colony. To him, the Doctor is asking him something absurd, and he's just trying to show this poor fellow how wrong he is. I mean, to him, he might as well be asking why this place is being ruled by a cake. So finally...
This is your controller. This is your controller.
And as you can see, I am a master ventriloquist. It's only too obvious there's something else there, and the so-called controller is just a helpless prisoner. When he doesn't do a satisfactory job of convincing them all that he's in control, the Macra attack him, and Pilot, who can't square what he's witnessed with what he's been programmed with, has the trio sent down to the pits, rather than let any of this go on any longer. A lot of places show cheerful exterior with a sinister interior just below the surface, that the alluring aspect quickly evaporates. Macra Terror instead shows that it is insidious. The facade permeates the entire colony so that no one has any reason at all to disbelieve the propaganda, even when you're being sent into the shittiest part of the colony to almost certainly die. That's why Medoc is sent down here, because he's considered to be a hopeless case. So, let's take the most dangerous job there possibly is and throw someone unstable in there, right? But of course, the hospital can't treat him, and so what else are you going to do with him? It's the same reason that terminally ill patients are used as ballast. Medoc arranges for the doctor to remain here in the control room as the supervisor for their work, which means that he's alone when Ben comes by. The doctor understands that Ben is under some influence, and so isn't angry with him like the others are. You could hardly blame someone for kicking your shin if someone tapped their knee first, right? They just can't help themselves. But down in the pit, things are as grim as they sound, especially with the gas everywhere, while above, the doctor has worked out what all this stuff is for and calculated the various formulae that work with it.
Yes, I think that's right. I should give myself 10 out of 10.
And the formula is good too. Ow! Pilot has seen this and can only conclude that the doctor must have seen this secret formula.
Well, you must have seen the document. That's the exact computation.
Really? In that case...
Now, if only KFC didn't still elude me. Down below, Medoc hasn't been keeping his frustration to himself.
Stop!
You've made the connection?
Of course. Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Now, be careful, Medoc. There are other places worse than the Danger Gang, you know.
Worse? What could possibly be worse than the Danger Gang? The Certain Death Gang?
Don't touch it.
I know what I'm doing.
Actually, forget that. I think we're already on the Certain Death Gang. Jamie takes the opportunity to steal the keys and slip through the locked door, though he does set off the alarm in the process. Medoc is quick to follow, only to wind up on the business end of a Macra, so it looks like that's that for Houdini. Meanwhile, Control orders that the guards cannot pursue onto forbidden ground because it is, in fact, forbidden. Guess we should have seen that one coming. The good news is that Ben has spotted Jamie taking the keys and admits that he didn't report him. He's struggling to resist listening to the voices. Wimp. There's a great little moment where Ben struggles with the situation while a woman swings by, quoting slogans and propaganda with complete belief and innocence, to show just how deeply the indoctrination goes.